Cheers. Good morning, everyone. This is hiker trash on a porch. Not on trail. So we hiked the entire Appalachian Trail and we wrote a book about it, and he painted and I wrote and all that kind of stuff. You guys know because you just did a bunch of orders. So thank you so much. All right, hello everyone.
Hello, hello.
This is what hiker trash looks like when you're not allowed to be on trail because of external circumstances.
I feel like we're trying desperately not to give it up though. We're like keeping the vibe. You know?
Yes. So on that note, we're still holding tight because we have a couple of things going on.
Yes.
So today we figure out the next process of the insurance. We're talking to our adjuster or whatever, and
our adjuster decided to go on vacation right when all this stuff went down. So it took us a week. Sorry, go ahead.
Everybody deserves to be on vacation.
That's true.
Yes, except for us apparently. But no. Okay, so we're waiting to hear from them, and then we're really have our fingers crossed and are hopeful that the insurance covers it.
But we are pretty sure they're not going to cover it.
Yeah.
So we're just sort of preparing ourselves to have to pay for it.
You guys probably know that already.
Yeah, everyone who's been a homeowner probably already knows that they're not going to cover it. But we're new to this, you guys, so we're going to go through the steps and try to see if we can't get at least a little bit of money.
Yeah.
We pay them every month. Aren't they supposed to help with stuff like this? All right.
I don't know how insurance works.
This is the complaining channel now. So.
Okay. So what we're doing now is we're kind of in this really weird, like, in-between waiting game where we're just kind of like still holding on till we can hit trail and maybe just have skipped the road trip, or whether or not we're doing a full renovation. We don't know.
We're still holding on to the P&T. Swap.
Well, what are we doing in the meantime of this epic waiting game where we're in this in-between phase? Did we mention we were waiting? So we are trail running every day, not really. Help me out, Toots. We're trail running, trying to keep our exercise up.
So we've been back to the good old Chattanooga markets, selling artwork and the books. Susie's dad's birthday is coming up. We're discussing potentially going to that now since we're not going to be on the road. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, it's a family reunion in Idaho. My dad's turning 80-something. 86-something? I don't know. He's old. No, is Mima 86? He's an old guy.
No, Mima's in her 90s. Mima's 95.
He's kicking a long time, folks. He deserves a birthday party. Family reunion. It is in Idaho.
But again, it's all like in limbo because of this dang old insurance. But really, we'll know like in a week. We'll know what we're doing in a week. Until then, we've been both writing a lot. Susie and I have been both working on our novel that we've been working on. Mm-hmm. We're not going to tell you guys about it, but we do spend a lot of time working on it. We call it our creative hour, and usually it's about 3 or 4 hours long of writing. And
reading about bear attacks in Glacier,
Bear attacks in Glacier.
Missing those, really. We are still living out of tubs right now in this weird, I think we just fully haven't accepted. Didn't think we were going to be running at Booker T again, but that's nice. So
we got to sign up for another marathon.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We got to do something with all this energy. I guess below zero is pretty cold.
It is pretty cold. All right, so for your entertainment, top stories about the Appalachian Trail here in 2026. So earlier this spring, a hiker was rescued in the Smoky Mountains after some crazy cold snap that came through, and the temperature dropped to near 0 Fahrenheit. And they had to be
below zero.
Below 0, I guess. And they had to be airlifted out, right?
That's what they said, airlifted out, yeah.
Which is like, wow. So I think that must have happened. Maybe they're just, so in the Smoky Mountains, you're supposed to sleep in the shelters. So first and foremost. So maybe they didn't have a tent.
That would suck.
Yeah, and then maybe like it was wet, so maybe there's no fire.
Maybe they didn't have a sleeping bag or a thick enough sleeping bag.
Or maybe they got stuck. I guess we should find out some more information. But near 0 or below 0, that is
below
obviously
0 is freezing.
That is really cold.
Yeah.
So it was 17 degrees when we passed through the Smokies in the middle of wintertime. And that was just hard. I mean, you run through so much food, so much faster. It just like wears you down. The cold really wears you down.
I thought it went below 17 at night, especially that one night in the shelter.
Oh, yeah.
I think it got down to like 9 degrees that one night or something like that.
I think so too.
Yeah, but that's still a lot. I mean, 0 is 0.
Yeah.
I think 0 is a lot colder than 9.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, what I meant by the 17 is it stayed 17 degrees like throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
Which was like exhausting. And another story, a northbound hiker got caught in a storm on day 1. Hurt his knee and had to be, I don't know why I'm laughing, that's horrible, and had to be rescued 24 hours into his through hike journey. That is just unlucky. That is horrible. That's
why
so
storms
sad.
always slow us down, because you gotta go so much slower so you don't slip and hurt yourself. Speaking of storms. Well, it's this constant thing where you're like, when you hear the storm warning and you have to decipher whether or not it's just like fear mongering or whether or not there is actual danger in it. Half the time it's not even the storm that they claim it's going to be.
And sometimes you just have to hike through it. So you're just like, okay, especially if you're on day 1, you arrive, you made all the plans. What are you going to do at Amicalola? Stay in the resort, just because there's a storm? I can see. That just sucks that he hurt his knee.
Yeah. Mind hiking in this?
Don't mind at all.
No, me neither.
Preferred, actually.
Yeah.
Take your call this time. Please leave your claim number, name, and best number to contact you back at. I will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you. Have a great day.
We just got home. We're making egg breakfast sandwiches, and we just got some of the best news. We heard from Blue Shield something or other that is doing the abatement, and they just told us that it's covered. The insurance has approved our claim.
They're covering the abatement and the restoration. Can you guys believe that?
It's everything's gonna be fine, y'all.
So many people told us they were not going to cover it.
So next week is looking like they're gonna come out. They're
doing the abatement
floor,
next week.
and then the restoration company comes in, and then I don't know. We've never done this before, so
we might do some of the work ourselves. We might not. Why would we if the insurance is paying for it?
Happy Monday, y'all. Don't forget to get your walk in, get your run in, get your hike in, get your exercise in. Pick it, do it. It's good. Technically, we could still hike the PNT in by August, because you can hike it through September, supposedly. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's just like a treat hanging over our heads to keep us going or what. There's a lot of other variables in there. It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get your hopes up. But the world is our oyster. Okay? So we'll figure this out. And then we'll be ready to party. It'll be good. So, Justin, today, right now, the news that we are thinking about considering, is a road trip. We're back on road trip. We're going on a road trip.
PCT road trip, PCT Trail Magic, sell the PCT book.
Yes.
And meanwhile, visit our family members who all have awesome recipes for our cookbook that we're definitely going to be putting together.
Well, a big thing too is, so my dad is having his 80th birthday in Idaho. So we literally spent the last week deciding whether or not we were going to fly or drive. And then we realized that our house was being torn apart. So then why not drive? And then we realized, well, if we were going to drive, why not do the PCT? And then it came all kind of crashing down that really just the only thing that got paused was the PNT, essentially.
Yep, pretty much. But it was hard to figure out exactly what our time frames were and everything, and whether or not we'd be able to leave while they worked on the house. And there was a bunch of stuff to figure out. Yeah.
So we're road tripping it.
We're road tripping it. Yeah, why not?
As a lot of you guys saw, we everything was just full stop for a second. We unpacked the van. We are still living out of tubs, just like in this weird in-between area. But we really took this time to like take a little break and work out a lot and paint a lot.
Yes, I've been painting a lot. I've been doing a lot of fancy art. I've been doing concept art. And I've been working on some awesome still life pieces. We've been mulling around the idea of doing a cookbook, y'all, with recipes from like all of our families and grandmas and grandpas and moms and stuff. And so
Mima's cookbook.
Like Mima's cookbook, yeah, like gathering recipes. Because on this road trip, we're going to see a bunch of our family. And I know my aunts will have a bunch of recipes. I know I know Mima's going to have recipes. I know my mom.
Yeah.
I know your family's going to have recipes, your sisters.
Oh, let's talk about the road trip real quick because we didn't really talk about that.
I've been painting a lot. I've been painting still lifes for that potential cookbook. I've been painting fantasy art and I've been painting concept art. And that's been really fun.
We do markets every weekend here in Chattanooga. I don't know why I mentioned that.
Well, I'll be selling my art that I'm painting there.
Yes.
You're trying to make money off my artwork.
Always. Well, we went back and forth like a million times on whether or not we could still hike the PNT and whether or not we could still make that work. And that was like a glimmering thing we kept holding on to. But I think we're finally setting that down and saying that this is the first time we've had to deal with anything like this. So we're really figuring out what that means, and we can't just leave and be on a trail without phone service and
also
stuff like that.
One of our main goals for this trip was to sell our PCT book and to like really do a gung-ho effort trying to make that happen and see those trail angels and kind of pay our dues to the Pacific Crest Trail and also sell that book along that corridor and stuff like that. And and
show everybody the PNT and write a book about it and like do all that.
Right, of course. But we can still potentially do the sales part. We can still potentially do the road trip.
Which is what we just realized today.
Today we're like, okay, we could still do this road trip. And then maybe afterwards hike the Arizona Trail or something like that. We can still do something great. And we have other plans of other cool projects that we want to work on that we could potentially do while we're doing this sort of epic kind of 6-week long road trip.
Yeah. So one thing we never told you guys, which we were just kind of like keeping as maybe a possibility, is after the PNT, we talked about maybe being able to do the Arizona Trail.
Or the Florida Trail.
Exactly.
Multiple trails we had been considering doing. So in a way, the PNT getting sort of knocked out and potentially just replaced by the Arizona Trail is potentially becoming an option for us, especially if we still want to do the PCT corridor road trip where we're able to sell our books, because we do need to sell those books to, pay the bills and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta eat. We are one step closer to figuring out what the heck we're doing with our lives. You guys, this has been up and down. Okay, some big exciting spiderweb.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Big exciting news. The insurance company is covering our flooded house.
Which is insane.
It's insane. So for whatever reason, we don't know to what extent, they said restored back to what it was before, which isn't like it was amazing before, but that's something.
Yeah, back to pre-damage conditions.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my kitchen back to pre-damage conditions.
Yes,
personally.
there we go.
Yeah.
So what we've concluded is that there is a few days where the abatement comes in, and then the restoration people come in, they tear out all the damaged wood, and then once it's all dried out, basically the insurance guys come in and argue what is covered, and then after that we get a kitchen, and that is potentially 4 to 6 weeks worth of
so the abatement
stuff.
And like the cleaning of all like any sort of mold or mildew is all paid for. It's just a matter of what kind of kitchen they want to rebuild for us and what do we want and what we're willing to pay extra for and what they're going to cover, yada yada.
Yeah.
That's the after fact.
So we've had just kind of been in this state where I feel like we're just been kind of sitting and and waiting to see what's going to happen. And now we reached a point where basically we know that the house is going to be torn up for like roughly 4 to 6 weeks, and we're trying to figure out
what we're going to do for that period of time.
Yeah. When
we don't have a kitchen and our house is being worked on.
Yeah.
We were planning on doing a lot of the work ourselves. Gotcha. we were planning on doing a lot of the work ourselves, but now that the insurance is paying for it, it kind of threw us through a loop. We really weren't expecting them to pay for it. And so since they're paying for it, you know, they're going to want licensed contractors. They're going to pay for all of this. So it's like, now we don't have to do any of the work.
Now there will be some sort of stuff we may do on our own, or some sort of restoring.
There's going to be always work that we're going to do on our own at that house.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're going to redo the cabinets. But anyway, so the point is, what are we doing now?
This is great. Oh my, this is just nice.
Boom, painting kit. Boom, keyboard.
We set out to document our through hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. Robert would keep a watercolor journal, and I would write. Little did we know our adventure would turn into 6 months and 3,000 miles as we fought to keep a continuous footpath from Mexico to Canada. Through desert side trails, high mountain passes covered in deep snow, terrifying river crossings, and navigating forest fires, we bring you this story.